Hot damn.
The board has reconvened to the open session. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the draft minutes of the March 26, 2026 Board of Commissioners executive session as presented as a closed record?
So moved.
Is there a second? Hearing a motion and a second, Ms. Bennett, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Galladay,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Cox,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson Jennings,
Yes.
Commissioner Simmons,
Yes.
and Commissioner Glady.
Yes.
The motion passed.
Do I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda items, draft construction in progress audit, draft resolution 1495, draft EEO program audit resolution 1496, and draft RFP process audit resolution 1497 as submitted?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Bennett, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Cox,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Simmons,
Yes.
Commissioner Galladay,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson Jennings,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Glady.
Yes.
Motion passed.
If there is no further business, I would request a motion and a second to adjourn the regular meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Hearing a motion and a second, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? Okay, we stand adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
We can begin the safety and security meeting. Chair Simmons, we're ready when you are. Chair Simmons, we're ready when you are. Thank you.
Herb still with us?
We're trying to figure that out.
Oh,
We're waiting on Commissioner Simmons. We think he might have stepped away for a second, but hopefully he'll be right back.
Keep things going, commissioners, I'm going to ask Chairman Gladney to, and I have a narrative here. Oh, there we go.
Okay, I will fill in briefly until Herb returns with the technical issues. I'd like to call to order the Safety and Security meeting for Thursday, May 14th, 2026. Ms. Bennett, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Simmons, hold. Commissioner Cox,
Here.
Commissioner Galladay, Commissioner Gladney,
Present.
Commissioner Johnson,
Here.
Commissioner Jackson Jennings,
Present.
Commissioner Moore,
Present.
Commissioner Beach. You can proceed.
Thank you. Ms. Bennett, could you please provide a report on any public comments that were received for the meeting?
There were no public comments submitted for today's meeting.
On to approval of the minutes. The minutes have been provided to the committee for review of from the March 5th, 2026 meeting. Are there any corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion and a second to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passed. On to the law enforcement agreement with the City Sheriff's Department. Chair, I will ask Kevin Scott for comments. Mr. Scott?
And before Kevin comments, very briefly, just as a procedural matter, I wanted to note that this item today is being changed from approval to information due to some further ongoing discussions that we are having with both the Sheriff's Board of Police Commissioners. So Kevin will get into more detail.
Thank you. Kevin?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. As my role here dictates, I am ultimately responsible for the overall security and well-being on the transportation system. And I have a due diligence to keep this committee informed about challenges that we face and what proactive measures that we're doing in order to deal with shortcomings in our program that, quite frankly, we depend on. And so today I would like to do that. Thank you for your flexibility relative to moving from approval to just informational. There are some legalities that we still have to move through, and I'll be working with General Counsel on that as well. Just to give you a bit of a background, as you all are aware, that Metro Transit law enforcement services relative to Metro Transit have to be contracted. And this is dictated by the federal compact that we operate under. So we achieve this through three primary full-time agreements with the St. Louis County Police Department, the St. Clair County Sheriff's Department, and the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. And each of those organizations focus on their specific jurisdiction. Now, while they are focused on their separate jurisdiction, they maintain staunch collaboration between the three, as well as with Metro Transit Public Safety in regards to sharing investigative information, evidentiary information, video sharing, things of that nature. We also, within our security structure, depend on various agreements with other agencies, secondary or overtime agreements. One that's included in that posture is the City of St. Louis Sheriff's Department. We've had an MOU with that organization for over 4 years now relative to part-time participation on our system under security licensing. We need this law enforcement dynamic, obviously, to complement our vast array of daily deployments of security. Our security team obviously is unarmed, and we also need them to as force protection for the public. So as we move through this, we have these three major contracts. And the primary benefit to having these defined contracts is that they have articulated that this dedicated group of individuals from each of these departments will proactively patrol Metrolink's trains, platforms, and transit centers. And the proactivity, the engagement on the system is the most important aspect of why we have these contracts. So traditionally, within the city of St. Louis, and that's what I'd like to discuss, our full-time agreements have rested obviously with the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. We work very closely with them. We collaborate with them on a daily basis. We are often providing CCTV information to them, supporting them not only in cases that they are investigating on the transportation system, but as well as things that we can support in investigations that they have off the transportation system itself. Now, historically, with the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, our contracts have stipulated that they have detached on a full-time basis 1 lieutenant, 1 sergeant, and 7 police officers. Over the years, because of challenges, staffing challenges, not only with this organization, but actually law enforcement wide, we have seen those numbers drop. And so our current agreement is only a 1-year termed agreement, and it expires in just a little over a month on June 30th of this year. In that agreement, when we entered into it, we negotiated that they would maintain a lieutenant, a sergeant, and 3 police officers. And because of staffing challenges, those numbers have dropped as well. I've worked with their command people. I have worked with the chief. The chief and I have had conversations. And what I can assure you of is that as soon as those staffing challenges are overcome by the organization, I have no doubt that they will reinvest in this product relative to a full-time deployment. But the challenge that I have right now is that I have a lieutenant, a sergeant. There's still 1 police officer assigned to the unit, but because there's only 1, he is not field deployed. He's serving more in an investigative role. And so right now within the city of St. Louis, relative to our Metrolink police posture, I don't have any police officers available for proactive engagement or proactive patrol on the system. So we are supplementing some of that again with the off-duty part-time arrangement with the City of St. Louis Sheriff's Department through security licensing that we've put in place. Again, that's been in place for over 4 years now. But this agreement or this document that I have in front of you is my proactive way of trying to bridge that gap or that void relative to the shortage of police availability within the city of St. Louis on Metro Transit. I was a police chief for a long time, and I certainly understand the challenges that police departments face. The chief has been very open and very cordial. We work very well together. But at this juncture, what we've had to do is, because our staffing level has fallen, is our security teams are positioned now where we'll have to notify police communications and depend on more of a district response from the city of St. Louis to complement and stabilize and support our security teams that are on the system itself. And so based on that historical MOU agreement that we've always had with the city sheriff, I started a dialogue and kind of spearheaded what it would look like to use more of the deputy sheriffs in a proactive posture as we work with the city police to build back up their staffing levels. And the difference between what I'm proposing and what we currently do with the city sheriff is those engagements with city sheriff deputies right now under a security license are voluntary. There are sheriff's deputies that sometimes are not available when we need them. And so the idea behind more of a solidified full-time arrangement would be a dedicated number of sheriff's deputies that could be on the system full-time. Now, their scope of authority is narrow. Certainly, they are not the law enforcement authority within the city jurisdiction. That will always remain in the hands of the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. But our thought is that we could put sheriff's deputies more consistently on the system in order to stabilize and support security, all while waiting for a response from district officers if we need to. We will never stop that dependency on the district response themselves. So as we sit today with this contract that expires in just a little over a month, again, we have a lieutenant assigned, we have a sergeant assigned, but we don't have any police officers that are out on the system in a proactive manner. The law enforcement partnerships that we have with the 3 primary jurisdictions and with the different agencies that we use along the alignment, municipal agencies that we use on the Illinois side, and the sheriff's department that has been helpful here in the past, those relationships with law enforcement are paramount. At the end of the day, what we need from an overall security posture is we need armed, certified peace officers on the system. There's no bigger impact than having authority on the system itself, and you guys are very well aware of that. I do not want to degrade or take away from what our security components do. They're very vital. They engage about 90% of the occurrences on Metro Transit, both bus and rail. But the viability of and the stabilization of our system is ever dependent on law enforcement. So we will continue to work with the city police department in order to hopefully build that staffing back to a level that we need. They are committed to doing that, and we will continue to support them in any possible way with any investigation or any endeavor that they may need. But this proposal takes a look at what it would look like to use more at the forefront, more in a proactive patrol posture, these deputy sheriffs within the city of St. Louis themselves. And so we've worked what a financial picture would look like. We've looked at what an arrangement would look like relative just to a 2-year term as we continue to work with the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. There are certain, obviously, as I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, there are certain legalities that we would still have to work through with the Sheriff's Department because their scope of responsibility is different. This has been a very fluid proposal as we've worked to try to put the pieces in place. We would certainly want to ensure before we come to you for an official vote and move this forward to the full board that we also have had this proposal, whatever this will look like in the end, vetted by the police department themselves and the Board of Police Commissioners, and that we have everybody's support and that we are on solid legal ground. And so I just want to make sure that you understand we've identified this issue, that we are proactively moving in a way to address it. But I just need to make sure that we are on solid legal ground and that we're not overstepping the authority of what the Sheriff's Department is able to do for us. I think there's different ways that we can take a look at that, and I will continue to work with our Chief Legal Counsel on those topics. And so with that, Greg, Greg Lanier is our Chief Legal Counsel. I would ask if you would want to weigh in on anything, and then if not, I'd be able to open this up for questions. But again, I have a responsibility to report to you accurate information. And I just wanted you to know the shortages that we face relative to staffing on the current contract and what we're trying to do proactively to address it. So with that, I yield back my time. And Greg, if you want to say anything.
Thank you, Kevin. I don't know that I have anything additional to add. Depending on what the questions are, it might be a question for me to answer or a question for Kevin to answer, other than to say in summary that I believe we're talking about a how, not a what. I think everybody involved in this knows that we have to go this direction in some shape or form. It's just a question of how we word the contract so that everybody's comfortable with it. Happy to answer any questions.
I did want to interject just the one issue is that the current sheriff is John Hayden, where we have a lot of experience working with former Chief Hayden. You may remember he was the chief of the SLMPD. We had a very successful relationship with him over the years. And what we are noting is post-certified officers within this contract, and I just wanted to bring those two pieces out to light. Thank you.
Kevin, just to reiterate all that you said there, and I appreciate you giving us, the honest and the update and everything. So how many officers then were we at? These were armed officers, police officers. And then how many are we going to be with your, in the meantime?
So just focusing on the city of St. Louis, that contract.
Right.
Historically, that contract was staffed with a lieutenant, a sergeant, and 7 police officers. Now that ebbs and flows, obviously. But what we've seen is that as the organization and the law enforcement community in general face challenges relative to staffing, this is something that's not unique to my colleagues at the city of St. Louis. This is something that's unique, that is prevalent nationwide. When we saw those challenges, this 1-year contract that's about to expire was initiated just about at the same time that the city police department was moving into a Missouri state controlled board oversight. And so one of the reasons why we termed this contract for only 1 year is because that board was not up and running yet, and we wanted to make sure that we didn't overextend any relationships. And so I asked the command of that unit, what in reality, with the challenges that the organization faces, in reality, what would they be able to give us in this 1-year contract? And that was obviously a lieutenant, the sergeant, and 3 police officers. And then what we recognized is that, and certainly for the betterment of the organization, one of the police officers was promoted out of the unit. That position, they were not able to backfill that position. There was a second police officer that either retired or was transferred out for whatever reason. And that position has not been backfilled. It is my understanding again, that there is 1 police officer left on the detachment, but they don't have the ability on a daily basis to field deploy him because he's by himself. And so he is very versed in investigations and has taken more of an investigative status. We work very well with them. They're very efficient. But again, Commissioner, what I want to prioritize is that I want uniforms and law enforcement authority on the system itself. And so I'm looking for a way to bridge that. In comparison, as we sit here today, I'll just let you know the other 2 agencies. So the St. Clair County Sheriff's Department, their full-time metro detail sits at 15 total, 1 lieutenant, 2 sergeants, and 12 deputies. And the St. Louis County full-time dedicated MetroLink detail sits at 30. That is 1 captain, 5 sergeants, and 24 police officers. So what I'm hoping to do is support the city in any possible way that I can. Chief Tracy and the administrative leadership of that organization, they have been, without a doubt, very supportive of us and have given us everything that we need. But as we traverse these shortages in the city relative to police officers, I'm looking for ways to support that in the interim until they're able to restaff what I think is a very vital component of our overall security model.
I agree. So let me just make sure that I understood this right. St. Clair County, we have 15 armed officers. I'm not, you're giving me the positions and I appreciate all that, but we have 15 altogether. In the county, we have 30 altogether right now. And in the city, we have one who's working on mostly investigations.
The total contract in the city right now, what is left on the contract, sir, is three. There's a lieutenant, a sergeant, and one police officer. Why I highlight the police officer is most predominantly in daily field operations for police. Patrol officers are out actually doing the patrols, and so we would have one available for that at this juncture. We have had, and I just want to be clear, we have worked and continue to work with the city, the leadership. The chief has been phenomenal to us. It's just a challenge that they're facing, and what I'm hoping to do is reach some legal ground or legal understanding within the language of an agreement, whether we have to expound our secondary relationship with the city sheriff through security licensing, or if there's a way to, through the language of a contract similar to this, if there's a way to get a full-time dedicated deployment of city sheriff deputies on a short-time basis until we can rebuild the police staffing. Ultimately, what we want, and I will make no secret of this, what we want is that the city St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department succeed overall and be able to rebuild their staffing in order to serve MetroLink. I think it's very vital.
And I think we're a part of that city. You know, I mean, we're a big part of St. Louis, and our whole image and everything we do is based on, we've been talking about this for years, the secure platform plan that you've been building, all of it, all has to work together. And if one thing fails, then everything fails, you know? So it's not on us. It sounds like to me we're basically dependent on the St. Louis City Police Department, and they're short-staffed and they can't give MetroLink what we need. I'd like to try to put things in a simple way to understand. I know there's so many details and that
Yes.
we can get into that, but that's why I've always been a big advocate for, you know, almost 10 years now. What can MetroLink and Bi-State, what can Bi-State do to get our own police department where we are not dependent on somebody else? And that's our best way, this is my one opinion, that's our best way to help the city. Now we're not straining their police department at all. We have our own police department, and we take that funding that we're giving to the St. Louis City Police, or if it's St. Clair County, and we use that funding in those lines for our own police department. That's just always been, and then, but I never hear anything from management saying how we can do that. We just say, oh, that's hard to do. It takes a long time. Well, what does it take? You know, I'm just one person, but I hate being dependent on another department. Who knows if they're going to be strained or not? Because to me, MetroLink is one of the biggest images of our city. If we can have great transportation that's safe, you know, that will help the city more than anything.
I would like to, Commissioner, I would like to add, you make some very good points. One of the main premise of this proposal, aside from the federal compact discussion, was to try to alleviate some of the strain on the city. And I want everyone to know unequivocally that this proposal came from my office. This is my proposal. This is a very proactive way to address this issue. This was my concept. Myself and my director of security, Vernon Summers, worked on this, and it was based on just the relationship that we've had with the city sheriff's department in the past. And could we expound that in order to support the police department moving forward? But this is what I want to make clear. The motive behind our efforts is not to replace the police, okay, or circumvent the overall police jurisdictional authority in the city of St. Louis. It is to support with boots on the system until their staffing can be rebuilt. I hope everybody understands that.
And so just in simple, what are you asking? What is your proposal in simple then? As far as like, is it dollar amounts? What is it exactly?
Well, I think this has been a very fluid process. This has not been something that we've been able to just kind of put together overnight. I think that we are in a position now where we have somewhat of a foundation or an idea of what we can do or we want to do. I just need to make sure that with our legal counsel and with our other partners, and that includes the sheriff's department, and it includes the police department without a doubt, that we're on solid legal ground and everybody's in agreement. But I think everybody does agree that we need to do something. It's just, is the language in this particular agreement enough to get this done, or do we need to do some modifications? And I do believe that as much as I have a responsibility to report to you and identify issues, I also have a responsibility to say to you, we're working on this, we're doing the best that we can to solidify some type of an agreement, but I'm just not ready to ask for your approval yet. I just need a little bit more time.
Mr. Scott, quick question for you. I'm reading the memo that you submitted, and it says here a lieutenant, a sergeant, and 8 deputies.
Yes, that is what we're proposing from the city sheriff.
So are
So
we
that would
certain?
be if we were able to get some type of agreement done above and beyond just our part-time agreement that we have with them. If we were able to get to a point where we could get everybody to agree that the sheriff's department could provide us with a dedicated group of individuals, that is the structure and the numbers that we've asked for.
So that's the baseline. So are there any concerns that at some point the sheriff's office won't have the capacity to provide us with that level of support, given that the police department has a shortfall as well?
Well, I can only talk about the conversations that we've had with the sheriff's department relative to what we would be asking for. And the response was that they could do and meet those requirements. That doesn't say that they wouldn't face the same challenges down the road, for sure. I think that everything right now, you know as well as I do, with your history, you know, everything in law enforcement right now, ma'am, is fluid. And so, again, the challenges that we're facing in St. Louis are not just unique to St. Louis. It's a nationwide dynamic. And I'm just trying to do the best that I can from a security leadership standpoint for the Metro Transit product, and trying to create as many options as possible, meaning not leaving any stones unturned, basically looking for every way or every advantage to support Metro Transit with armed, certified individuals.
Appreciate that. We want to support you in that effort, but I just wanted to make sure that we were also looking at other options in the event we're faced with that with the sheriff's office. Thanks.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman, I apologize that I couldn't be on here at the beginning, and I appreciate Chairman Gladney pitching for me there, and I'm still having trouble seeing the memo. But I'm well familiar with what Mr. Scott is talking about here. He failed to mention that him and I and Mr. Summers have been discussing this over a period of time now about the St. Louis Sheriff's Department, and I'm concerned to the fact that I thought we were heading in the right direction, and now today I find out that there's some other type of maybe a legal issue or something, which I'm glad we'll get to the bottom of that. But I want to clarify, he had mentioned that St. Clair County has 15 deputies. That is the full-time manpower, but the St. Clair County Transit District also supplements the bi-state with secondary employment from the agencies that the Metrolink runs through, the Belleville's, the Shiloh's, Fairview Heights. And correct me, Kevin, if I'm wrong, if that seems to be working out fairly well over here on our side. Am I correct?
There's no question. I see the daily deployments every day relative to the municipal participation along the alignment. And again, it's voluntary, but it is pretty consistently staffed. And so it's made a huge impact.
Well, and I think we took that into consideration when we came up with that pilot program, that we could pretty well schedule it throughout the year. We know how officers like to work their vacation and prepare for the holiday. But from all indication that I've been getting is it's worked very well, keeping in touch with the St. Clair County, the 15-man team that Kevin mentioned to us. So we're very proud of what's going on here. The other thing that Kevin and I and Vern Summers talked about, and I guess I wasn't too clear on it, when St. Louis, I know this has been an ongoing problem for a long time, ever since I've been chairman of the security committee and before that, of their inability to have the manpower for whatever reason. But Kevin, you had told me back then that we had continued paying that agreement. How long had we been doing that without we getting any return on our investment? Do you have that figure?
Yeah, and Mr. Chairman, I will yield to General Counsel, but what I will tell you is that when we saw the fluctuation in the contract, we did take steps to mitigate our financial responsibility. And if you don't mind, sir, I'll just leave it at that and then allow General Counsel to weigh in any further.
Sure, just whenever we have another get together, that's fine. But I guess my question here today is what we had talked about in the proposal with the Sheriff's Department and Sheriff Hayden. Is that, in your opinion, is that going to come to fruition, or are you looking at other resources, private security, or what is on your mind there?
So I obviously with a lot of very important people within this arena and conversations with Chief
Breaking
Tracy.
up, Kevin, we can't hear you.
You're coming in and out, Kevin.
How about now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I feel that there's no deniability on anybody's part that we need to do something to enhance proactive participation on the MetroLink and the platforms and the properties relative to the city jurisdiction. I do believe that we will be able to reach some type of agreement relative to what we're trying to do. It may be that we have to build more of the secondary structure out relative to using security licensing for the sheriff's deputies. I need to continue my dialogue and working with the Chief Tracy and his team, because they need to be 100% supportive of what we do. Because at the end of the day, the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, that is where we hang our hat every single day. And and that's where we're going to continue to hang our hat. But I do believe that through some additional legal vetting, and maybe some manipulation to some of the language that we've proposed, I do feel like that we will be able to reach some type of agreement.
Well, and I'm glad to hear that because you and I've had lengthy conversations about the use of private security, and I for one, and piggybacking off what Commissioner Cox says, I'm only one person, but I am not for going backwards with private security. You and I have had this discussion, and Mr. Summers and I have, law enforcement is what our riders want to have out there. I want to have one on every train, as you and I have talked. And if we go back to being able to have one train instead of pulling these trains 2 and 3 at a time and no way to get in between them, that would make our system 100% safer. So, but that's a story for another day. But I applaud you for, I know you and Vern are both living and breathing this daily because it's all important to all of us. I'm a little taken back that something I thought was going to happen here is now there could be a problem. So
I apologize for that, sir. But I have a responsibility to you and the board to make sure that we're on stable legal ground, and I just want to do that.
I appreciate that. I just moving forward for the other commissioners, we owe it to our riders out there to make sure this system is, and I'm preaching to the choir, I know, but I don't want to go backwards, and I would not support anything doing with moving us backwards. I mean, Commissioner Cox brought up a very valid point. I don't know all the legalities about the bi-states enter law enforcement. That's for the legal department. But I know when I first got on this board, when we went through the whole ordeal with the security, we pay a lot of money for security. And we have people out there doing a darn good job. Our contract security people, I see them out there, but they are only going to be able to do so much. And I think we have lived and saw that already. So we have got to do whatever we can to make sure we're getting the LE people out there on these lines.
Absolutely. That's our top priority. And I appreciate your support. We'll continue to work through it.
And Mr. Chairman, if you would, since I'm having difficulty, if you don't mind going ahead and taking it for me, and then I'll owe you lunch one day.
Understood. Are there any other questions on this matter?
Just a quick
yes.
question. It's Deborah Moore. Oh, I'm sorry,
Two.
Mr. Johnson. Go
Oh, Deborah, go ahead, please.
ahead. My only question is, we've all heard of the perils the city is facing concerning police and oversight board and money. My question is, are the resources, do you expect the resources will continue to be available to support the force, be it sheriff's deputies, city police, whatever the combination will be, to provide the security that the city certainly needs to provide, even at a higher level than what they currently do when you look comparatively and when you look at the demands on the system that are city sourced as opposed to the other jurisdictions that are participating at higher levels?
Well, I can only tell you from a police perspective, because that's kind of my arena. I know that Chief Tracy and his team are 110% committed to building out and continuing to grow a very effective organization, and he will have my full support in however he needs to do that. And so I am very optimistic that with a little time and a little opportunity to restaff, they'll be able to provide us with the services that we need. I have no doubt. I mean, there is no question that the leadership of the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, they know and understand how vital public transportation is. You know, we have always said that, you know, for our region to be competitive nationwide, the first step to that is the viability of public transportation, and you know, safety and security is paramount to that product. And so I have a very good relationship with the chief. I have a very good relationship with the department. I am just looking for ways right now to bridge a gap to support our proactivity until they're able to do that.
So Kevin, how are you handling the situations now when there's an incident within their jurisdiction? Is there a long delay on getting them to come to even those active calls?
No, we haven't really seen a long delay, but you know, if there is no one available on the MetroLink detail, then we do, as I pointed out in my brief, we do contact police communications, and then we're dependent on a response from the district officers.
Okay, that might be something that you, if you haven't done it or haven't got the a report on what type of delay there is on those type of incidents when you're waiting for their district officers to have to respond as busy as they are. Because that's another impact that we really have to look at. I mean, it's okay to say that they're coming, but how long does it take them to get there? And nothing personal against, I know they're busy, believe me, I know it more than anybody, but it's also hampering our operation.
Well, and you raise a very good point, sir. And what we would still have to do that even with this sheriff's agreement in place. The scope of authority of the sheriff is not that of the police. And so what I was hoping is to be able to put these individuals on the system to help support security and stabilize situations while we're waiting for and or support the district officers when they arrive. So again, this proposal is not to circumvent in any way the authority of the police department. It is to support not only them, but us to be able to stabilize in a more efficient manner until we're waiting for a police response. We would never opt to not call the police.
And one last question before we get out here. Have you gave any consideration to doing kind of what we've done over here in St. Clair County with the other municipalities? I know we're not having all that problem, but anytime you can get these secondary employment officers to get on board, I think that just enhances our security.
Yeah, and so with the city of St. Louis, the city of St. Louis is a municipality, so it's a little different.
You're breaking
So
up
can you guys hear me?
now.
We can now.
Okay. The city of St. Louis is a municipality, and so the dynamic is a little different. We have to depend on the Metropolitan Police Department and or whatever support we could get from the sheriff's department and in agreement with the police department. So along the alignment within St. Louis County, there would be opportunities to build those secondary agreements. However, I would caution you that would be a very expensive endeavor.
And fortunately, in Illinois, we have a funding source. The transit district is providing revenue to facilitate those relationships.
Right. Thank goodness for them.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're taxing them. That's for sure. We're taxing them.
So I heard a question and I didn't think we got an answer to that. Are we currently paying for a contract where the services aren't being fulfilled on?
We have not paid for a contract where the services aren't being fulfilled. We've made modifications and or mitigations to our financial responsibility as our staffing has dropped. I would really ask the legal counsel to weigh in on that.
Thank you. I'd love to hear more from the legal counsel on that particular issue.
I don't have procurement records on what we've paid or not paid, but I do know that we have stopped payment when there's not been services provided, and the contract authorizes us to lower payments when we aren't receiving services. I don't have the financial details in front of me, but we're authorized to spend less when there's less provided.
Okay.
So I have a philosophical question. If we're currently not getting the services that we've contracted for, whether we're paying for them or not, what's the expectation that we're going to be able to get services that we contract for moving into the future?
Why this discussion is so important, Commissioner, in this plan is that contract that we're under with the City of St. Louis Police Department, that 1-year contract that I'm discussing, it expires in just a little over a month. And so I don't have any expectation that they would have a different staffing allocation. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I know that I certainly can't come back to the board and ask for you to renew a contract on just minimal staffing. You're not going to do that. And so what I'm trying to do is build out a plan how we could move forward in the future with putting boots on the system. Why I've been moving so quickly on this is I knew that this agreement was only for a year and it would expire June 30th. Now, maybe there's an opportunity, and I don't know. I don't think that there's a probability of this right now, but maybe the staffing will change and they could offer us a new agreement with enhanced staffing. But I'm not hanging my hat on that at this juncture, and so I'm looking for ways to move forward beyond June 30th.
If I can add for a point of clarity, please, but the last payment that was made under this contract was in February. Now that's off the top of my head, commissioners, so I would appreciate some discretion there, and I can look into that. But for instance, when we knew we weren't getting the full complement, we are able to reduce payments. So I want to make it clear that we don't pay for something we don't get. Okay, so there's been modifications within that, and I think you needed that clarity. I can look into the history of payments, of course, with better detail. That is not off the top of my head, but I know that when we started this process of negotiation, one of the triggering factors was we only had a couple of officers, and we weren't expending the money. So because we weren't getting the services. So we moved forward on that, and it's taken some time to work out these agreements, but it's definitely moving forward.
If you would, Toby, just get that information and give it out to the commissioners, will you? So we'll have that, please.
I will.
Thank you.
Okay. There's no more questions or comments there. I think that was a pretty good discussion. Moving on to item number 6, Mr. Roach, is there any unscheduled business?
No, Chairman, I have no unscheduled business.
Call for the dates of future meetings. Ms. Bennett, would you please provide the dates for the upcoming meetings?
Yes, Chair, the next Audit, Finance, and Administration Committee meeting, as well as the next Operations Committee meeting, will be held on Thursday, May 28th, beginning at 8:30 a.m., and the Board of Commissioners meeting is yet to be determined.
Thank you. I am being told there is no need for an executive session today. Is that
That is accurate.
perfect? Okay, since there is no need for an executive session. If there is no further business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? The meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.